I don't know about you, but that's a kind of complicated passage. You're in the body, you're out of the body, but you're part of the body if you're in the body of God, but not the body of yourself. And what it is really is it's Paul trying to make sense of what has happened that makes us new. What has happened that has changed everything, because everything felt like it changed when Jesus died and then was resurrected. Everything felt like it was different now to Paul. And Paul is trying to figure out a way to think of that, to hold on to faith and to find a way to cope with what had changed. Find a way to move forward in faith without even being able to see really what's at the other side of it. He wants concrete answers, but he can't get them. And so when we hear, we walk by faith and not by sight, I think that's the most telling statement of this. We walk by faith, not by sight. We don't have all the answers. We don't know what's going to come tomorrow, do we? We don't know what's going to happen later today, for heaven's sakes. We never know what's going to happen. And I think that that's what Paul was struggling with, is what is it and how do we make sense of this? I feel good about it, but I'm not sure about it. So we're going to look a little bit at that passage today. And I wanted to remind us, as we're heading into this time of visioning that will be coming up on June the 27th, remember? Okay, there was a poem that we were using sort of for us to think about during that time, and it's by Mary Oliver. And so I'm going to read it for you again. Meditation is old and honorable. So why should I not sit every morning of my life on the hillside looking into the shining world? Because, properly attended to, delight as well as havoc is suggestion. Can one be passionate about the just, the ideal, the sublime, and the holy, and yet commit no labor to its cause? I don't think so. All summations have a beginning. All effect has a story. All kindness begins with the sown seed. Thought buds towards radiance. The gospel of light is the crossroads of indolence or action. Be ignited or be gone. What I have learned so far is the name of the poem. Will you pray with me, please? God, we give you thanks for being with us in this place at this time. We give you thanks for the way you touch our lives, the way you work in our lives and in our heart. We give you thanks for all there is for us. We give you thanks that you are there even when we waver. You are always there. So remind us of that as we walk through this life, God. We ask all this in your many names. Amen. Amen. Have you ever had somebody try and guide you through a maze when you couldn't see? Have you ever tried to see after they put those drops in your eyes at the optometrist and too much light comes in and you're just sort of, what's happening to me? Have you ever, tried something new that you haven't tried before? Like when you get into a car and you know it's going to go in a direction and you're going to turn and it's going to turn, at least you hope. Right? The first time you drive, it's a little nervous. Or you're trying to learn something new. Okay, you're trying to learn something new. Something like tap dancing. And you think, okay, I know if you move your feet really fast, something is going to happen, it's going to make a lot of noise. And it doesn't. But you think you can do it. But, have you ever tried those new things that feel really challenging? Have you ever tried to write a poem or paint a picture? Have you ever tried those things? I know that I could not have ever learned to drive if I didn't have faith that the person that was teaching me was showing me the direction to go. I know that I could never have taken that step with my eyes all blurry from drops if I didn't trust the person I was leaning on to guide me in the right direction. It's those places where we need to lean on each other, those places where we need to have faith in each other, that we start to find that growth, that we start to find trust, that we believe in another. We believe in what they say to us and who they are. We believe they're not going to steer us wrong. That's how it is with God. God's not going to steer us wrong. We can believe in God. We don't need to see God because we have God manifested all around us. It's having that faith without seeing, walking in faith, trusting one another, trusting God. Trusting God. That unseen, sacred, holy God. You can't even describe God. And we have faith. Now, my faith might not look the same as your faith. I might not drive the same way you do, and I'm pretty sure I probably don't tap dance the way you do. And I think that we probably don't do a lot of things the same, but we have faith, right? We have faith and we have trust. You know trust, you know faith. You know those things, and they're not always the same. And yet, as a community, as people who have friends, if we can have faith together, it doesn't need to look the same. We just need to have faith together to be able to walk forward. You know, I don't need to believe exactly what you believe. We probably all don't believe the same things, right? We all are going to encounter God as we encounter God with our own histories, right? We all have different histories. We all have different stories, different experiences, and that's how we walk into God. That's how we know God, is in that experience of our life. So we walk in faith differently. We walk in faith differently. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It means that God can encompass it all. All of it. All of us, and much more. Faith is something that isn't really tangible. It's just there. You know, if you try and describe it, if you try and say, well, I have faith, and people say, well, faith in what? What does it look like? How does it feel? What is faith to you? And aren't you a little crazy to have faith? How many of you have been asked more about why are you a Christian than why are you gay or why are you something else? Why are you redheaded? Why are you inked? Why are you whatever? You get asked those questions, but I get asked more often than anything, how can you be Christian? And for me, it's easy. How can I not be Christian? How can I not follow the teachings of Jesus? This is my story, my faith. This is my background, my experience. My experience is that Jesus, the teachings of Jesus have shown me a good way to live. It's my experience that God has been there all the time, even when I wasn't there. God was there. That's what it means to be a person of faith. Faith for me gives me that hope that I might not have otherwise. That gives me that sense that I'm not alone, that I might have otherwise. You know, it's that exciting place and that calm place, and that calm place. It's that place where I know that the road ahead of me is limitless. Limitless, which can be frightening at times. But I know I'm not walking it alone. I'm not walking it alone. How comforting is that? How wonderful is that? To know that you're not walking alone. When we take that walk in faith. In faith. Not by sight, in faith. That is exciting. We're looking at what's going to happen to this church. We're looking at how our faith is going to take us and propel us forward. We're looking at who we can be. That's exciting. That faith is going to be molded and shaped by the community, by all of us, with our own perspectives, our own histories, our own expectations. You know, there are times for me that I really want to stay where it's comfortable. How many of you like comfort? How many of you don't do well with change? This is that place, you know, we like it to be comfortable and everything to stay the same. Well, when you're comfortable and everything stays the same, everything stays the same. Nothing changes, you don't grow. Nothing changes in the world, it stays the same. It takes us taking that step in faith for things to change. It takes taking a step in faith for us to make a difference. It takes taking that step in faith for us to grow, to experience God in new ways. Every time we come and encounter God in new ways, our lives, who we are, is expanded. It's expanded. We grow a little. We understand a little more. Change is inevitable. Whether you want to stay comfortable or not, it's going to happen. Change happens. You know? It's not always easy, but it happens. So how can we do that in the best way? How can we do it in the best way? Faith. Having faith, not only in God, but having faith that we can do this together. We can do this with each other. We can go forward with each other and make this the place we want it to be. We can go forward and make our lives the way we want them to be. We can do that. We're not alone. We have each other, we have God. Come on now, God's pretty good. Right?
Amen.
Superhero stuff here. God is really good all the time. All the time. Now, if we can just open ourselves up to embrace that and to allow each other to embrace it how we embrace it. Like, I cannot go up to Felice and say, Felice, you need to think about God in this way. Number one, Felice won't. We know that. Felice will embrace the God she knows, the God that has walked with her through her life, the God that has always been there, because that's her experience of God. Each one of us has that experience of God. You know those little lizards that we have around? And you know how they change color? They have trouble with my red kayak, but they change color to sort of blend in with things, and then you can't see them, and then they move suddenly, you go, ah! Yeah, those little, you know, God is like a tremendous chameleon. God, for each one of us, becomes what we most need. God is always there. This walking in faith, it gives so much to us. We might not be able to see, but if God is our guide, we're good. We're really good. If God is our guide, we can go forward and we can be who we want to be and we can change things. You know? It's so exciting. And yet here we all sit. Surely the smiles should be bigger when God is with us all the time. Surely the excitement in us should be bigger, because this is exciting. Surely we should not fall asleep. This is God we're talking about. This is excitement. God is with us on the journey. No matter what we do or where we go, God is with us. Can we accept each other on the journey? Can you look and accept each other where you are on the journey? We're not in the same place. We're all in different places, and we're all still journeying. Can you accept that about each other? Can you accept that we're in process? That we're not all of who God wants us to be yet? If you are, please let me know. I have yet to encounter someone who was perfect. This is all about relating, about trusting, of having faith, no matter what. Not having to have a contract signed, sealed, witnessed. This is about faith. Just believing. Believing. Seems simple. What do you think? And yet people struggle all the time. Science versus God. Why does God do bad things to good people? We struggle when bad things happen. We struggle when we think things are changing in ways we don't want them to change. Trust me, change is going to rub us all differently. You know, change happens daily, all the time. It changes and changes. Because that's what life is about. Otherwise, we are just going to stay in the same old place. Not much living in the same old place. When you watch children grow, do they change? And what happens? They grow up, they learn more, they encounter more, and they change, right? We don't stop when we hit 18 changing and growing. We do not stop just because we're considered an adult by some government. We keep growing and changing, we keep maturing, and we keep becoming more of who we're meant to be. And we keep doing that with God, not alone. We can trust, we can have faith that we are becoming who we need to be with God. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. So Paul is struggling to figure this out. Figure out, how do we walk with God now that Jesus, who showed us how to walk, is gone and has gone back up, and all of a sudden the Spirit is here working through me. Paul is saying, how does this work with me? I know Jesus, but the Spirit touched me. The Spirit touches us all. We all have something to give. We are all a part of God. And when we come together in community, all those little bits of us that are parts of God make us stronger. That's what being a part of a body means. That's what it means when we're part of a congregation, a community. That's what it means when we walk together in faith. So as you go forward this week, I want you to think about that. Think that we, each little part of us, that faith connection to God, all of us bring that to this place. All of us. And it's that will guide where we will go with God. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.